I wanted to go over a little bit of Crunchit in the homework, as a few of you had some questions on that. So in this week's homework, on number 3.24, it asks you to make a scatter plot that shows the relationship between relative amygdala activity and memory score. So we're wanting to see if the memory is impacted by these emotional video clips. So our memory score is going to be our response variable because we want to see if that's impacted, whereas the relative activity score is going to be the explanatory variable. So what we want to do is, you can type in the data here, but you can also go to File, go down to Load from Practice of Statistics in the Life Science, go over to Chapter 3, and then go down to Exercise 24. So when we click on that, it should pull in our data. So in order to do our scatter plot then, we're going to go to Graphics, go down to Scatter Plot. Now, I had already picked this. We want to pick, it's going to give you the option of relative activity or memory score. So for your X variable, you want your explanatory variable, because that will plot it on the horizontal axis. The Y variable is our response variable, so that's our memory score. And then if you wanted to put some other, a title in here, you could, or some other optional labels. Right now it's going to pull the labels that we have up here of our variables, which is okay. Then we hit calculate, and you can see our scatter plot. So you can see how the data is tending, as the relative activity increases, the memory score also increases. So if we were going to put a line in here closest to as many points as we could, you would see that it has a positive slope, and that indicates a positive relationship. So then you can screen capture that and put that into, or copy that into your homework. So it asks you, part B of that question asks you, describe the form of the relationship. Is there a linear pattern? How strong is it? And compute the correlation coefficient. So we did see there was a linear pattern. It was relatively strong. However, to see how strong it is, we calculate the correlation. So in Crunchit here, we can go to Statistics, down to Correlation, click on Correlation, and then it just asks you which variables you want. So I'm just going to click on both variables here, okay, and hit Calculate, and you see it's going to calculate my correlation coefficient, which is also R. So in the Dr. Darrell's videos, it has how to calculate this with a formula. Or you can also do it on the calculator. I know there were some questions out there about the calculator, so I can do a video on that as well. But this one's 0.6769. So remember, the correlation coefficient falls in between -1 and 1. So the closer it is to +1, the stronger the positive relationship. The closer it is to -1, the stronger the negative relationship. And the closer it is to 0 really means there's no linear relationship. So there could be other relationship, just no linear. So this one, since it's above 0.5, it's relatively strong. Okay, if you have any questions on that, let me know.